EastEnders Shona McGarty worlds away from Whitney in Unhinged new show. The Whitney Dean actress has been announced as the special guest star of a drag cabaret celebrating 40 years of EastEnders. EastEnders is set to take over the Clapham Grand on Thursday, March 27th, and promises to be a chaotic, camp, and utterly unhinged drag cabaret tribute to 40 years of London's most iconic soap. As the Clapham Grand is transformed into the Queen Vic, some of the UK's best drag and cabaret talent will be giving their interpretations of some of EastEnders' most iconic storylines and scandals. Legendary characters like Sharon Watts, Vanessa Gold, Pat Butcher and even the Queen Vic bust will be brought to life on stage, with audience members told to get ready for high drama, big earrings, and duff moments galore. As well as performances, audience members can expect a costume competition with a legendary prize for the best EastEnders-themed costume, a charity raffle which will benefit the East London Out project, and plenty of surprises. The drag and cabaret artists will be joined by Shona for a special one-night-only performance. "So excited," she said, in response to a post about the event on Instagram. "See y'all there." Shona left her role as Whitney Dean in the BBC soap last year, 16 years after her debut. Her exit storyline saw her leave Albert Square after discovering partner Zach Hudson's infidelity with best friend Lauren Branning. She cut ties with him and mother figure Bianca Jackson, after realizing that she had known about the fling. Over the years, Whitney was at the center of some huge EastEnders storylines. One of her first major storylines saw her suffer a devastating ordeal as she was sexually abused by stepdad Tony. Later down the line, she faced a terrifying stalking ordeal, went on trial for murder, and tragically lost her baby, Peach. Since leaving the show, actress Shona has starred in stage play 222 A Ghost Story, as well as doing panto over the Christmas period. The actress hasn't entirely ruled out a return to the soap, revealing that she would be up for reprising her role in the future. "I would absolutely go back to EastEnders, it's 16 years of creating a family. I grew up on that show," she told The Sun in November. "I've got a really good relationship with EastEnders. The door's open but at the moment not yet."
EastEnders legend takes swipe at husband as she lashes out at Sabrina Carpenter. Lorraine, best known for playing Karen Taylor in the BBC One soap, recently received a video from husband Mark, who took their 8-year-old daughter to one of the performances. The star, who is 48, was left unimpressed when she realized Sabrina sings to the audience in lingerie outfits. Lorraine took to her Instagram stories to share her thoughts on the shows, admitting she feels like a bad mum for letting her child view the performances. She wrote in a caption, "Just got sent this video. Nancy is watching that. I didn't realize she was that **** Thai. No wonder Mark was keen to take her. Oh god, #too much #badmum." The espresso hitmaker, 25, has previously faced criticism for her risque dance routines and suggestive lyrics. But Sabrina refused to be shamed for her actions, standing alongside other female artists still facing backlash for being comfortable with who they are. "My message has always been clear: if you can't handle a girl who is confident in her own sexuality, then don't come to my shows," she stated. Female artists have been shamed forever. In the noughties it was Rihanna, in the 90s it was Britney Spears, in the 80s it was Madonna, and now it's me. Speaking to The Sun, the nonsense singer, who previously dated Barry Keoghan, hit out at regressive attitude and claimed her critics ignore all the positive elements of her work. It's essentially saying that female performers should not be able to embrace their sexuality in their lyrics, in the way we dress, in the way we perform, she continued. "It is totally regressive. It's like those who want to shame don't make comments when I talk about self-care or body positivity or heartbreak, which are all normal things a 25-year-old goes through. They just want to talk about the sexual side of my performances." Lorraine played the role of Karen Taylor in EastEnders from 2017 to 2024. She initially left Walford for a new life with her family in Spain, but then returned on a few occasions to try and find out who killed her son Keanu Taylor. Karen's final scenes saw her depart Albert Square under the impression Dean Wicks killed her boy, with no idea it was actually Linda Carter. Major EastEnders character will kill Agron after explosive murder in early BBC iPlayer release. Such a wild revelation has come after weeks of shocking truths for the extended Mitchell clan. Nick, as we have seen, has been keeping a fair few secrets from her family. She firstly discovered that Teddy's partner Sharon Watts had slept with her ex-hubby Grant Mitchell, and it was then revealed that she herself had once cheated with none other than Sharon's brother Zach Hudson. To make matters worse, he had fathered her youngest son Barney, and she'd been keeping the matter under her hat for best part of 2 decades. With the bombshells teetering on the edge of collapse, Nicola arranged for Zach to be beaten up by some of her cronies to try and permanently silence him. Sharon discovered what had happened and decided enough was enough. She had to confess her steamy fling to Teddy. As the pair began to chat, Barney burst in and told his dad that he already knew. In today's installment, a tense showdown ensued as Teddy learnt the grisly truth. Enraged with the realization that Nicola also knew, he kicked her out of the house and she rushed to Zach, pleading him not to spill about Barney's paternity. Sharon was lost for words, and as she began to justify her actions, Teddy saw red and smashed a glass on the floor. In true Mitchell style, a fight soon ensued between the locals and one was left nursing their injuries. Are Teddy's true colors beginning to show? So far he's played Mr. Nice Guy, trying to act as the middleman in the often tense family dynamic. As the situation cooled, he was forced to apologize to Barney after he witnessed the altercation. Nicola nursed his swollen hand in some ice before making it clear that she was the woman for him. She won't settle until she has her man back. Sneaking off into the night, she arrived at Sharon's house and pleaded with Zach to keep quiet again. He was adamant that the situation would only worsen the longer that Barney didn't know who his real dad was. With nowhere left to turn, she told the siblings that before Barney was born, Teddy was a very different man. He was vicious. The birth of his second son helped to mellow him, but it didn't take much for his former self to be unearthed. Such a devastating blow would be enough to bring out the Mr. Hyde to his Dr. Jekyll. Zach struggled to believe her claims, forcing Nicola to unveil something horrific. Teddy is a murderer, and he will kill again. For all of their sakes, Zach needs to keep his mouth shut. But who met their end at the hands of Teddy Mitchell? 10 huge EastEnders spoilers for next week. What's coming up in Walford? 1. Harry gets a visitor. It's the 4-year anniversary of Harry's girlfriend Shireen's disappearance, and there is tension between the Mitchell clan. At the Arches, Harry is shocked to get a visit from Shireen's brother Asad. But while Harry has been suspected of killing Shireen, Asad tells him that he no longer believes he was involved in his sister's disappearance. 2. Jean clashes with Ruby. With Stacy away, Jean offers to help Ruby to plan Martin's funeral, but Ruby doesn't want her input. After Kathy gives Jean some advice about how to handle Ruby, the pair agree to work together on the funeral plans, and Jean is grateful for Kathy's help. Kathy later reluctantly helps Jean and Ruby with organizing the funeral at the Albert. But she is forced to play peacemaker when Jean and Ruby clash over the differing opinions. 3. Teddy is accused of murder. Nicola decides to host a vigil at Harry's barn for her son to remember Shireen, but the event takes a turn when Asad shows up. Chaos unfolds in the bar when Asad shares a new theory and accuses Teddy of killing Shireen. As Teddy denies this accusation, Harry stands up for him, but back at home he demands his dad tell him the truth. Later, Nicola visits a man called Benji and asks where Shireen is. Is Teddy really responsible for Shireen's disappearance, and what is Nicola investigating? 4. Nigel opens up. As Nigel continues to deal with his young-onset dementia, his memory becomes an increasing struggle. He has a particularly difficult day and eventually breaks down in front of Linda about his ordeal. Will Linda be able to provide the support he needs? 5. Nicola is caught out. The day after the vigil, Nicola is snubbed by a struggling Harry at home, while Teddy meets up with Junior to discuss their new business plans. Ravi summons Nicola to Walford East, where he explains that a dangerous supply of drugs is in circulation. But Teddy later overhears Nicola on the phone to a supplier and she is forced to come clean to her ex-husband about her drug dealing. 6. Lexi learns the truth. Billy refuses to tell Lexi the truth about Phil despite Honey's advice. When Nigel mistakenly confuses Lexi with his daughter, she panics and believes Phil is dead. Lexi confronts Billy and Honey, leading Billy to angrily confront Nigel. Sharon and Honey intervene, while Callum prepares to tell Lexi the truth. In the end, they all head to the mental health unit to find Phil, but will they see him? 7. Harry and Felix come to blows. Harry continues to struggle after the events of Shireen's vigil, and he makes a show of himself at the Albert while under the influence. He picks a fight with Felix and Freddie has to calm the situation down. While parents Nicola and Teddy drag Harry home after his antics. Why is he finding things difficult? 8. Lily gets support. Lily is finding it tricky to carry on as normal following Martin's death and is struggling with her grief for her dad. Amy and Avani decide to team up to try and help Lily cope with her feelings. How will they attempt to get through to their friend? 9. Teddy hides a secret. Nicola attempts to get Teddy to withdraw his support of Junior's business plans once she finds out the details. Later at the boxing den, Teddy tells Sharon that he still cares for her, following the events of the previous week. He then calls Junior to confirm their business deal, choosing not to tell Nicola about their collaboration. Why is he hiding a secret? 10. Phil's special episode. A special EastEnders episode will follow Phil's time in a mental health unit over 4 weeks. At first, he struggles to open up in therapy and group sessions but forms a bond with fellow patient Gaz. When Gaz leaves, Phil is forced to confront his trauma alone. With support from worker Yasmin, he realizes he's ready to leave. After listening to voicemails from Sharon and Nigel, Phil decides to discharge himself. But is he truly ready to return to Walford?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại bạn.